You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned to KUTV Primetime News. And as I hinted before, 28th of July is a day that the world observes World Hepatitis Day through the United Nations. And of course, as I informed you earlier, we are joined by Tamar, Nyambura, who is a medical practitioner at the Pine Hospital, to help us understand what is hepatitis, what are the causes, what are the symptoms, what is the treatment, and most importantly, what can we do to avoid that disease. We are joined by Tamar Nyambura tonight. Tamar, if you can hear me, it is your time.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Mutegi, and good evening to everybody. I'm going to just list a little bit information about hepatitis.
Mm-hmm.
And hepatitis is the inflammatory condition of the liver. So that means it could be caused by, it is a common result of viral infection. There are 5 classifications of hepatitis. That is hepatitis A, hepatitis B, C, D, and E. And hepatitis is spread through contact, through blood and blood products, and bodily fluids, of course. So things such as saliva, sweat, when people come in contact with those kind of things, they are going to be at risk of getting hepatitis. The person who is at risk of getting hepatitis, the most people at risk are the healthcare workers, because they are the most people in contact with blood and blood products, and also they deal with sick people, and sometimes there are sick people with hepatitis. And also there's another group of drug users, the ones that use injectables. So if they are sharing the syringes and needle, they are at risk of getting the hepatitis. The prevalence of hepatitis in Kenya is about 95%. That is a huge percent. So hepatitis, how long does it take to be in the body? So it varies between mild and life-threatening. That means that it can stay in the body for a few weeks, or it can also be lifelong. That means it could also result to death. And when a person has the virus for a lifetime, that means that the hepatitis is chronic. Yes. The symptoms of hepatitis, you can have the ones that when you go to a hospital, the doctors may make a differential diagnosis. You cannot, when you just say this, for example, flu-like symptoms, when you come to the hospital, you say you have fatigue, you're tired. When you come to the hospital with abdominal pain. But there's distinct symptoms that we can really start suspecting that a person has hepatitis, and these are things like yellow skin or yellowish discoloration in the eyes, or a person says that they have dark urine, or they say that they have a pale stool,
Mm-hmm.
loss of appetite, unexplained weight loss. Those are the distinct, especially the yellowish discoloration.
All right.
When you should see a doctor is when you feel.
Allow me to interrupt you just before we move to when to see the doctor. I'm gonna. Mm-hmm. You mentioned hepatitis comes in different categories and different types in the names of A, B, C, D, and E. Most people know about hepatitis A and hepatitis B. What is the difference between these hepatitis and are their symptoms the same? I would love to get that a bit more clear from you.
Yes, they are the same, because the different types A, B, C, D, the only difference there is the cause.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find like for hepatitis C is from waterborne when you come in contact with dirty water, or you've eaten raw vegetables or fruit.
Okay.
For hepatitis B, it's very particular with blood and bodily fluid.
All right, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
that
you.
is it.
Thank you so much for that. Maybe now we can go back to when should we see a doctor when we realize that we have these symptoms? Is it at the onset, or do we wait to see more of these symptoms? And do the symptoms come at the same time, or is it in a prolonged period of time? What is the study period?
For hepatitis, okay, for all of them,
Mm-hmm.
the yellowish discoloration of the eyes or the skin may take time, because before the liver has become inflamed, it becomes swollen, it has become infected. For it to be seen on the skin, it may take about even 90 to 150 days before you actually can before you can actually say that you have seen the yellow skin or the yellowish discoloration in the eye. But because these other general symptoms, people may just say, I just don't feel well, or I'm just tired, I didn't really have a good rest. But I would advise immediately you feel you're not okay and it is something that has been consistent, it is good to seek the doctor, because it may not just be you're tired or you did not get enough rest.
Mm-hmm.
But immediately a person has seen the yellowish color in the skin of the eyes, they should really run to the doctor, because that means it is already, the disease has already been extensive.
Yeah. All right. Many people, when they hear about a disease they're not very conversant with, especially after COVID-19, one of the most common questions that people ask is, do we have a vaccine for this disease? I mean, can we stay away from it through vaccination? Do we have vaccination for hepatitis? Yes. And if yes, how is it administered, and how can one get access to it?
Yes, we do have the vaccine for hepatitis A and hepatitis B, and there's a combined vaccine for both A and B, so you could get both of them, like one shot of hepatitis A and hepatitis B. It is given in hospitals. They are there. The vaccines are there. The government has given it to the public hospitals. The private hospitals have them too. So a person gets three doses, all in differences of 4 weeks. Okay, when it comes to health workers, once one has enrolled in a medical school, they get the 3 doses in full. And then after 2 years, after getting into the field, they still get other doses. So it is given in a frequency of 2 years in 3 doses in a difference of 4 weeks.
All right. As we talk about, or did I interrupt you before you finished your point?
No.
Just allow me to attach that question to another question that is actually pertinent to this particular conversation. Is the issue of avoiding this particular disease. Maybe someone at home is asking, what can I do to avoid this particular disease? Let's say if I don't want to go the vaccination way, how can I stay safe from this disease?
The answer to that is very simple. Just practice proper hygiene. Like for all of the viruses, you just need to you follow basic instructions like washing your hands thoroughly, washing your fruits, the vegetables, using clean water, and avoiding coming into contact with bodily fluids and blood products recklessly, because you never know if someone really has the virus. So you practice proper hygiene and have a proper diet, balanced diet. Also when you have good nutrition, your immune system is boosted, so you cannot get the virus easily.
All right. For this next question, you will not be off the hook. As usual, I get to ask medical practitioners what they are doing on the ground, because vitu kwa ground, that is reality for us. And of course, the question is, what is being done by you as medical practitioners on the field to make sure that the spread of hepatitis is controlled or is also really faded away from the community?
We have outreach programs in the health facilities, even to the people in the most arid areas. They get this information. So that is health education. They are taught about these diseases. They are taught about how to prevent them, and if they come into contact, what to do, and also seek medical attention. Also, the screening, and of course, there is vaccination. And for people that we realize have the virus, they get treatment.
All right, thank you so much. As we draw to the end of this particular conversation, I'd love that you talk to the viewer and tell them what are your final thoughts about this name, hepatitis, that has scared a number of people in this particular country and beyond.
I would like to tell the viewers that hepatitis is life-threatening, whether it's for some weeks or it's for lifelong. So what you do is really take care of yourself. We say it every day. In the media, we see people telling us every day, we should practice proper hygiene, good nutrition. We should teach our children. We should reach to the ones who do not have this information. Also, go get the vaccines. Do not ignore, because the vaccines actually protect you from getting the virus, because it gets into your body. The vaccine, has an antigen that makes your body immune system to protect you. So if the virus attacks you, you're protected. Like, you cannot get it. So get vaccinated. The vaccines are in the hospitals, and stay safe.
All right. Thank you so much, Tamar, for joining us in this particular conversation. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you discussing this matter with us at KUTV tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me, Mutegi, and good evening to you.
Amazing. That is Tamar Nyambura, medical practitioner at the Pine Hospital, talking to us about hepatitis A to E. You want to stay tuned to KUTV Primetime News. Every Friday we talk about health, we talk about the environment. We shall be here to make sure that you are comfortable as long as you are alive. That is our mandate. We take a short break on KUTV Primetime News. We come back with sports news. Don't go anywhere.